This is Satsman. I'm coming to you with an updated deck profile today, and today we are doing Kaijus. Now this deck has gone under some changes now that Pepe isn't as strong as it used to be, and now it's really not Pepe, it's just Performapals. But this deck is actually, I really like it. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of stupid little things you can do with it. So let's get into it. For the Kaiju monsters, we are playing 3 Jizukiru, 3 Gom, double Doge, and double Godarla. Now, I decided to take out the Humonguses and lower the Godarlas and the Doges to 2 each, simply because I don't need to just draw into a Kaiju anymore. I'm not playing Remove Brainwashing anymore, just simply because Twin Twister is now out, and that's really not good for this deck. And plus, Remove Brainwashing can interfere with my Gradle plays, so that's also not good. Also, Godarla is a good trade-in target, so I don't always want to give this to my opponent. It's a little on the big side, but I can still get over it with pretty much everything but Gamma-Seal, and Gamma-Seal is going to be given to my opponent anyway. But yeah, moving on, 3 Alligator. This is the only Gradle I'm playing. I don't really think that any of the other Gradles are worth it. Yes, you can make an argument for Eagle where things can pop Eagle, but really the only things that directly, any monsters that really directly pop something are Dark Destroyer and it can't be targeted, and typically Cosmos can outpace Gradles unless they don't have a ship in their hands. So that's really why I'm only playing Alligator. Alligator combos really well with the Kaiju's Slumber spell cards, so it's just much better. I'm also playing Double Vandy's Fiend. This card is fantastic in this deck, and I was playing this at 1 for a little while, and I ended up bumping it up to 2, just because there is a lot of inherent summoning in this deck, and you do steal back quite a bit. It's very often where I'm going to steal back, or at the very least get 2 Kaijus out, one on my opponent's side and one on my side, and I can attack over the one I gave to my opponent and then just tribute summon for the Vanities. And it's just amazing. First off, this guy gets around Solemn Strike, which is fantastic. He can't be special summoned, so right there, that's great. And his effect technically doesn't activate, it's a continuous effect, so Strike can't be chain drained. So if you didn't know that already, that's just an interesting fact about Vanity's Fiend. And that same goes for Majesty's Fiend for that matter. But Vanity's Fiend is just really cool to summon out a lot of the time, because it works against pretty much every deck. I'm also playing 1 Mithra the Thunder Vassal. This is a great card to open up with, and it's good when your opponent doesn't want to play. When your opponent's like, oh, I'll just wait till I'm ready to OTK you, not summon anything, not give you any material, you can be like, oh no, you're getting a token, so I can tribute over it and then steal it back. So Mithra is very cool. Also, this is a 1-card lock with Coliseum, and it prevents my opponent from doing anything until I'm really ready to do something, so that's really cool. Interesting thing with Mithra there. I also play 1 Mateon. I like this card a lot better than Grand Mole. You can play either one, but this guy gets extra damage and it helps me rank 10. The rank 10 plays in this are actually really solid, and Mateon just helps with that. And you can repeatedly do things, plus you can OTK with him sometimes, and it's very rare, but you can do it with Mateon, and it just depends on the deck. However, I do side him out against things like Mermail and Lannis, which is one of the hardest matchups for this deck, as well as Cosmo, just simply because I don't want to give back their stuff. They can always shuffle back into ships with Cosmo Town, which is not good, and then get different cards. So Mateon is not great against those, and then Mermails obviously you would get like advantage off of that, so I would take this out, and that's why I'm only maining 1 of it as well. And then for hand traps, I'm playing double Veiler and double Max C. I don't think I need to explain these at all. Now done with the monsters. I think that's about 20, including the hand traps. 21 actually. That's 21. So yeah. So let's go into these spells. Okay, so for the spells, you're playing 3 Kaiju Slumber. This is undoubtedly the best card of the deck. It gets rid of so many things, and it combos really well with Kaiju Coliseum, which is really powerful in this deck. Just simply because you typically only have 1 monster on the field, and just the plays you can do with this. 1, this locks out the Cosmo ships if combined with Kaiju Coliseum. And I'll explain how that works when we get to that. So I'm also playing 3 Owner Seal. Obviously, I'm not playing Remove Brainwashing, as I said before, so the 3 Owner Seal is necessary. Double Twin Twister, because it's ridiculously good. Double Kaiser Coliseum, double Gradle Impact, and then the 1 trade-in. I'll explain that choice in a second. So, as I said, there's a combo with Kaiser Coliseum and Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Basically, if you activate this first, and then you activate Kaiju Slumber, if you're playing against Cosmos, this is for when you're playing against Cosmos, you special summon out your Kaiju and you give your opponent a random Kaiju as well. In this case, I'm just going to get Gamma Seal. And then, because of Kaiser Coliseum, they cannot, if you destroy their ships, they cannot special summon off the ships because you control a monster and your opponent controls a monster, and this special summon would happen before those Cosmo ships effects go off. So that's really cool to help lock out those effects. And then for the traps as well, and I'll go over trade in a second. 3 Quaking Mirror Force. This is amazing in this deck. 1 Bottomless, 1 Solemn, and 1 Skill Drain. Going back to the trade-in, the reason why I'm only playing 1 is because it gets cloggy at 2. I don't always want to dish from the hand. The deck plays a lot from the hand, and that's really a big weakness with trade-in. If this deck was more like amiable to the graveyard, I'd be playing more trade-ins, but it's not. So I can't really do that because I need Kaijus in my hand in order to combo and do get rid of spot removal. And sometimes drawing the 2 cards can be really great, especially if I only have 1 Kaiju and nothing else. That's really useful at that time. But it's very situational a lot of the time. But anyway, going back to the traps, 3 Quaking Mirror Force. Just simply because, like, if you don't know what this card does, first off, Quaking Mirror Force, when your opponent attacks, all your opponent's face-up attack position monsters can switch to face-down defense position, and they cannot change their battle position. That's ridiculous against so many decks right now. Really, the best deck this goes up against, in all honesty, like the worst deck this has a matchup against is probably Monarchs, just simply because they can still tribute off those monsters later. But in general, they can't activate the effects, so they can't activate like the Cosmo effects. It gives me monsters to tribute, and it doesn't put them back in the hand like with Mermails. With Mermails, I can tribute over them, steal it back, and then it's nothing. And it's just like they can't do anything off of it as long as I don't give them a Gamma Seal, in which case they might get a plus off of that. But regardless, Bottomless is good, Solemn's good, Skill Drain is amazing because really, this doesn't shut down a lot of things in my deck, and it shuts down a lot of things for my opponent, so Skill Drain is fantastic. So, with that being said, let us move on to the extra deck. Okay, so for the extra deck, just to let you know, there are a lot of theoretical choices. You really don't need the extra deck. In fact, there's like 3 cards that I think that are absolutely necessary, and I'll explain them when I get to them. But other than that, the majority of the extra deck is just what I felt like was good and what was relevant and what I felt was the most likely levels I could steal in order to make some of these things. So let's get into it. For rank 3s, I'm playing 1 Alucard, 1 Engineer, 1 number 47, and 1 Grand Pulse. Grand Pulse is fantastic because Super Quantums are really running around right now, especially in things like Monarchs. So being able to steal like a blue layer and then overlaying with this with another alligator in some scenarios that can happen is beautiful because then I can pop cards on my opponent's turn, which can be very, very powerful. This is also probably the one I go into the most because it does pop back row and it pops pendulum scales at the same time. Ghost Trick Alucard is probably the second one I go into because it combos really well with Quaking Mirror Force. If you don't know what the Alucard does, he pops set cards and that includes monsters, whereas Super Quantum Grand Pulse just pops spell or trap cards. So these 2 will go into the most. Nightmare Shark is here just simply because if I'm ready to win, I can just summon him and just do basically a cowboy. So that's cool, and then Engineer is just there for stall in the case that I need it. So those are really what I thought about for the rank 3s. For rank 4s, to really combo off the rank 3s, I'm playing 1 Downer Magician. If I can't get a blue layer off of Super Quantum off of Grand Pulse, I'll just overlay it after I activate the effect and make these 2 because it's just got a big butt. It's got 2800 defense, and then I'll just overlay it. It's really nothing in that. So that's there. But for rank 4s, I'm also playing one Dweller, one Castell, and one Nightmare. I thought level 4 Dark Monsters are really going to be easy to steal right now because there's a lot of them running around. So I felt like Nightmare would have been a little bit better of a choice, and it's also kind of like a walking, quaking mirror force, so that's really cool. And then Castell and Dweller are just, in my opinion, the best rank 4s at the moment. This shuts down ships, so if I can make it, I will make it, and this helps me shut down Mermails, which is again the hardest matchup for this deck. And then Castell's just in general very good. So these don't come up a lot, but when they do, it's very surprising for my opponent, and it's very awesome. For rank 8s, I don't usually make these because it usually requires a skill drain. One Agion, one Felgran, one Heliopolis, one Armor Photon Dragon, one Tachyon. These are the only 5 I play, and it's just because they're the best ones in my opinion. If I had the extra deck room, I'd definitely throw in the Galaxy Eyes, the Dark Matter Dragons, just so I could overlay it with that. But I felt like his effect was actually kind of strong enough where he was a standalone regardless. If you wanted to, you could probably take out the Engineer for the Galaxy Eyes and like just be like, oh hey, like I have got a 4,000 beater. But like, other than this guy who's already a 4,000 beater. But the reason why I didn't play Dark Matter is because I don't run dragons in the deck, so it doesn't really combo that well. So I just felt like him being a standalone was perfectly fine, especially because I don't go into them that often. So in general, I just felt like these were the best, and I don't go into them that often. Now for rank 10s, I only play 2 because I feel like I only need to, and I go into these the most just simply because of the Mateon normal summon, and I can special summon on top of that. So they're just these two, Gustav Max and Gengar Radai. Gengar Radai is basically the Volcasaurus of the deck. He gets rid of targets and deals damage. She's a good way to end games, as well as Gustav Max. These are basically the Cowboys of the deck, which is really cool. Gustav Max, if you don't know what he does, you can just do straight up 2,000 damage from his effect. And that's nuts. You're getting rid of a quarter of your opponent's life points with him. And if you can pull that off, that's fantastic. So, yeah. So, thank you guys for watching this deck profile. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, guys, have a nice day.